evening, everyone. Welcome to Rotor Talk Live, Season 7, Episode 29, Specta Mini release and DJI Drone Band update. We have joining us tonight, very special guest co-host, Captain Ray Kelly.
Hey, Bill.
Welcome, Ray. Thanks for stopping by tonight. Really appreciate that.
Thank you
As
for
you
the
know,
invite.
Ron's a little under the weather. I mean, he would be happy to join us, but he doesn't have any voice. So Marcus will be here in a little bit. How have things been for you, Ray?
Good. You know, my skin cancer's healing up. And
Good.
you know, I got a couple down on my foot too, but they're coming along. But I've been flying, so it's not holding me back.
Very
I've been out there flying, and I actually met a new gentleman, and I asked him if he was into flying drones. He said no, and I gave him my spiel about, oh, you should try it. You'll like it. Get a Mini 4K. They were only $299. He bought one the next day. And then we went and flew. I taught him. I gave him a 10-minute lesson, and he was flying. Yeah.
Well, my manager at work, he wants to buy he's thinking about getting a Mini 4K. He owns a property, his former house, and it's an older house, but it has a flat roof. So he said he doesn't want to climb a ladder to go up and inspect it. It's a 2-story. So I said, it'll be the best $299 you ever spent. I guarantee you. So yeah. I think he's going to get one. And I told him, I said, I'll go up and I'll show you how to work it. I said, he said, how much is it going to cost? I said, you're going to take me to a burger joint. Okay. There you go.
Well, I tell you, it looks just like that Mini Specta or Specta Mini.
Yeah, and we're going to talk about that coming up in a little bit. Well, the first thing that I want to do, I think you know, and just about everybody on the face of this planet knew that yesterday was Valerie's birthday. Okay.
Yeah. Happy birthday, Val.
Yeah, she almost the second anniversary of her 31st birthday. Not quite there yet. Okay. So I like hearing the second anniversary. I thought about it like when I turned 50, it was the second anniversary of my 25th birthday. And I kind of like being told that from now on. So that's kind of the way I'm going to go. Okay. I mean, you know, I think that's good. But today it was another birthday, and a very special birthday in our family. Our granddaughter turned 5 years old today, Ellie, and there she is with her dad.
Happy birthday, Ellie.
Happy birthday to Ellie. She got to go. You know what she wanted for her present? She told my daughter and her dad, she says, I want to go kayaking with you guys. I want to go to the playground, and then I want to go to Wendy's for lunch. So that's what they did today. They took her out kayaking for the first time. And it's really interesting how they got into kayaking. My son-in-law and daughter. My daughter broke her ankle. My son-in-law was in a bad car accident, and he broke his right femur. So walking, they used to love to hike, but they really can't hike a long distance right now. So they both got into kayaking, and they really liked it. Well, they took Ellie today. Oh, nice. And listen to this, Ray. You're going to love this, and I think everybody in the chat's going to love this too. Andy my son-in-law was talking to Ellie. Says, what do you think grandpa should get you? She said, I want a drone, Daddy.
Oh, really?
Grandpa. Oh, yeah. Well, my son-in-law, he works for an engineering firm that does, they map out underground utilities, and his job when he goes out to the sites, he flies a Matrice RTK and to get measurements. And that's what he does when he's out in the field. He does that all the time. And then he translates that into the data. So, and he has an Air 2S, and she is fully enamored with drones. And I told Andy, I said, you know, Grandpa's buying her first drone. Okay. Well, you tell me when, and I will be there, and I will give it to her. Okay. That won't be a problem at all.
That's great that she has an interest.
Oh yeah. She just, right away, you know what she called them at first? She called them airplanes. Okay.
Well,
That's what, you know, for her, that's what she was used to. But she said, Daddy flies airplanes. And I told her, well, Grandpa flies airplanes too. So, but now she calls them drones. Okay. So yeah, she's already, and she's 5. Okay. And I looked at my daughter, and my daughter said, not yet, Dad. Okay. I'm like, okay. I'm like, you know, I'm ready to pull the trigger kind of a thing. So, and the other thing is, okay, my son-in-law has been to gunsmith school, and he was in the Army. He was a sniper in the Army, and he has a nice collection. Okay. And that's one thing she has been very healthfully taught, that this is something that you do not touch. Okay.
Right.
Things under lock and key. He's
Yeah.
super, even before she was born, he was like that too. And he has a thumbprint safe for his handguns, and a lockable safe for his rifles and long arms. And he's very conscious of that.
Smart. That's smart.
Also, when my daughter got married to him, he taught her how to handle handle a rifle, a pistol, and a handgun. So she knows how to do it, and she's great at the range. And he said nobody better piss her off, because she's a pretty good marksman. So I'm like, that's what I want to hear. That's my
definitely.
So yeah, so that's some good news. Some other news, which was just as incredible for us, and I'm going to try to bring that. I want to get that picture up, because that was worth $1 million. On Saturday, we got a call. We were just heading out to dinner with our neighbors, and I'm like, okay. And then our neighbor calls us and said, "What's the emergency number for Florida Wildlife and Gaming Commission?" And I'm like, "What?" And let me bring up the picture.
I know. I saw that.
Yeah.
And I said, man, man.
Well, lo and behold, somebody posted on our group today. Now, a lot of people leave their a lot of people leave their garage doors open here. Okay, it's just
sure.
Well, lo and behold, somebody was opening the door from their it's usually the laundry room that goes into the garage. Sure enough, sitting right there, same gator, because he's only 3 or 4 feet long. Same one. So evidently, the owner of that house chased him out into the lawn, because he's only 3 or 4 feet. So he's not,
right.
Not like a big one. But the thing is, and this is one of the things that I try to tell everybody, Ray, is that and they're juvenile gators, obviously. You got to be wary, because mama is not far behind.
Usually, right.
Yeah. So
exactly.
You need to be real.
Did you name it, Bill? Did you give it a name?
I was going to call it Val, but I don't think Valerie would have liked that. So I kind of refrained from that. But we've been told at the HOA where we live that if they're in the water, the HOA technically, if you want to use the term, it owns them, so you can't do anything to them. However, if they get out on the banks, they're fair game. And if they're over 5 or 6 feet, and if they keep coming into your yard, you call the Florida Wildlife and Gaming Commission, and they'll come and remove them. And they do not relocate them, because it would be hazardous to that gator and the gators in that area as well too. So what they do is they sell them, and they get meat and leather and all that kind of good stuff from it. So all right, well, we're this is Bill the Drone Reviewer, not Bill the Gator.
You got a great crowd watching tonight, Bill. You really do.
Let's see who else we got here tonight. Wow. Let's see. John Olson is here. John is here. Let's see who else. Jaybird is here.
With John.
Quick Cat, Leonard Oglesby. Let's see who else we got. Art is here. And thank you, Art. Art wished a very special happy birthday to Valerie yesterday. Bucky did. So that was, I like that. That was great here. Let's see who else we got. TJ Giggles, FPV, welcome. Spider Drones and Guns, welcome. Let's see who else we got.
Lauren, you got Lauren
is here. Welcome, Lauren. I hope you're feeling better, Lauren. Dr. Ted is here. Welcome, Dr. Ted. 107 Drones. All right, my friend.
Hey, Barkley's not lurking. Okay, good.
Yeah, we had a good crowd in here tonight, right? Really do. Had it, and it was an honor, and I want to say this at the top of the show. It was an honor to fill in for Ron Brown last night on Drone Nation.
It was a good show. You guys were great.
Good show. We had a great conversation tonight. We're going to kind of continue part of that conversation here, but it's always a pleasure to do that. And it's frustrating for Ron, because he's really kind of feeling fine. It's just he can't talk very long.
If you don't have a voice,
he doesn't have a voice, and it's and I tell you what, for those of us that like to talk, okay, it's really frustrating when Ron says he speaks more in a sentence. He just gets into a crazy coughing fit. So, but he's watching tonight, and hope you're getting better, Ron. I know it's extremely frustrating where you're at, and I completely get it, and I understand. So, let's see what we got. I want to get my articles up here. Okay.
Get well soon, Ron.
Well, one of the things that, surprised me, DJI has come out with some things this year. And one of the things that's kind of surprised me is they've gotten into the power bank field. And I think they're having a hard time getting these to sell because it's on sale again.
Big sale, right? Yeah.
Yeah, it's 40% off, and it's usually $9.99. It's now $5.99 at Amazon. I mean, these are good power banks, okay? They really can do a great job, especially the idea is this for a power bank for me, because our home, we have a backup generator. So we're good as far as power is concerned.
Right.
But for something like this, if you're out in the field, if you're flying all day, this will recharge your batteries, and especially also maybe, your smartphones or tablets or other things as well too. It'll do a great job with that, and it'll probably last all day. So that's a good.
The people in Texas could be using them right now. And our thoughts and prayers go out to the victims of the hurricane.
Have you heard
a lot of our friends have
Michael
have no power, and BMAC had a tree come right down on his house.
I saw that.
Man,
holy cow. Yeah, that was well, Ray, you had the same happen up in
yeah, it wasn't a hurricane, it was just a bad rainstorm, but it came down on our cars in the one corner of the house, but it's all cleaned up now, so we're good. We're good.
Yeah, I liked your drone perspective of that. That was great.
I made a little video out of it.
You got a video out of it and made for a video for the channel. A shame that but you know what? And I always say in instances like this is, cars can be fixed, property, houses can be fixed. It's when people get involved and get hurt is, that you don't want to see that. Okay. And our thoughts and prayers are with the people of Texas right now in the surrounding areas, that hopefully they can get their power restored soon and get back to normal, because I know what it's like, because we made the decision when we had the last hurricane come through to go ahead and get a backup generator, and it's powered by natural gas. I mean, it's not cheap, but it's worth it in our opinion. So, but with this generator here, I think they've had trouble from the outset in selling these, Ray, because they've kind of seemed like they've always been on sale since the inception of this, and I don't know if the whole drone ban is affecting other DJI sales, because this wouldn't affect it, because there's no communications protocol in these things. I don't think they're Bluetooth enabled, so I don't think there's anything in there that's going to need FCC require.
Right? No, it shouldn't be banned. I wouldn't think.
So, I don't know about that. Now, the other thing that we've seen here was, and I'm trying to get the article up here. Okay. We had the surprise announcement, and DJ I did in their veiled little black picture, and with the shadows and all this. Okay. That they're now into making not the bikes themselves, but the motor and power for the bike, electronic power for the bikes themselves. And, that's a real interesting aspect, because I've got an education on it. I'm not real hep on it, but almost all of these e-bikes come from China. And, this one here in particular that it goes with, it didn't have any pricing on it. So I sent for an email, but I haven't gotten an update. But it's real interesting that they decided to branch into this. And again, this is an area where, it's not going to be affected by the FCC. It doesn't require approvals. So this is something that could still be sold in the United States if a ban comes into effect. But I think it's a smart marketing move for them. I think, they're exploring other options and what they can do. I mean, Ray, I think they've done really well, like with their battery technology with the drones. And I think, this is kind of carried forward here, and some forward thinking and marketing into them doing something like this. What are your thoughts on this bike?
Well, I'll tell you, I have an e-bike. I got a Jason. It's called the Jason e-bike, and I love mine. So I'm very happy with mine. I won't be getting a new one, but I tell you, I see DJI could do well with this. I can see that happening. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, absolutely, absolutely.
E-bikes are very, very popular now.
They are.
They really are.
You see them down here, in our community where we live. It's like I'm wondering how are people pedaling so fast? At first you realize, and I'm like, I know, it's an e-bike, but they've really come along too, because from where when they started out to where they are now, they charge faster, they go longer, can regulate the speed better. I think they're a lot safer than they were before.
Yeah, yeah. Well, I got to be honest. I got to make a confession. I have never pedaled my e-bike.
Yeah,
I am so lazy, I guess you could say.
Oh, okay, Mark. Thank you. Mark states they have a Bluetooth connection to give your phone your speed and your distance. Okay. All right. That's a good point. Thank you, Mark. Appreciate that. So yeah, that's it for on the e-bike kind of thing. But I think it's real interesting that they've kind of branched there, and they're kind of I think they're playing some things smart here. Okay. In case, and we're going to get to this here in a minute, but I still wanted to make the point here is they're diversifying. And I think it's smart to branch out into some other areas, because if they lose a potential source of income, the United States,
you don't know what's going to happen. Really,
yeah, we don't know. We're not privy to say what's going to happen yet, but we got some thoughts on that, and that was good. And also, I was remiss. I want to thank Johnny for being on last week as well. For Ron was out of town last week. So I want to thank Johnny for stopping by last week. It was a great show. Thanks for being on, and you kept Marcus in check last week, Johnny. Thank you. That's a tall order, but you did. So
Johnny's one of the best. He's one of the best guys in the whole drone community.
Well, and I gotta say this. Well, it was funny because Val really, being the second time that we went to the meetup, she really has gotten to know a lot of people there.
Yeah.
Okay. And she said, remind me again who Johnny is. And I told her, oh yeah. I know who Johnny is. So there he is.
Hey, did I hear my name being used in vain?
Never.
Marcus.
No, we said Johnny kept you in check last week.
I'm a big fan of Johnny and the other gentleman up there in the corner on the Fly for Fun show.
Fly for Fun show.
Nice shirt. That's a nice shirt, Marcus.
That's a nice shirt.
Almost as nice as mine.
Yeah,
yeah, there we go. Okay. This is great. This is great. I like this. Okay. Well, you know what? And I've always said this, and I love this. One of the best things I've ever heard about things that I've given out. Okay. Dobo goes, the best cup of coffee is the one in a Build a Drone Reviewer mug. And I'm like,
yep,
man, that's just, you can't beat that. You can't beat that at all. So,
So speaking of Dobo, you're the guy that I need to ask. What were those kind of mysterious tweets he was putting out today?
I don't know.
Okay. I missed them.
Bill, if you don't know, then we're at a loss, Captain Ray.
It was on X, Twitter?
Yeah.
Yeah, okay.
Well, let's do, you know what? Let's kind of go there, because I got that up. So
he's talking about a little bit of good news. So I think it's alluding to something with the DJI potential legislation, etc. So I don't know what it means. It was a very mysterious tweet. Okay. And quite frankly, Captain Ray, I thought for sure Original Dobo's good friend, Bill the Drone Reviewer, might have an inside track.
Yeah, sure.
Okay, let's go ahead and I'm going to go ahead and bring this up. No, I'm glad you did that, because I did see that today, and I'm like, I'm just like kind of shaking my head, but let's go ahead and look at this here. So, okay. One small victory, but the battle's not over.
Oh, okay.
All right. Verbiage for the banning of DJI didn't make it into the Defense Authorization Act.
Okay.
I didn't see that part. That's probably it.
Yeah, that's good.
That was it. So mystery solved, because I saw this earlier today. Okay. Actually, yeah. I saw this earlier.
Yeah.
So, that's potentially
let's
some good
temper it.
news.
Let's temper it with the fact that just because it's not in there now doesn't mean that it couldn't be in the final
Right.
build, because when they do reconciliation, anything can happen.
You're right. No doubt about that. Hey, Dre, how you doing?
Okay. Well, that was some. It brings some cautious optimism. That's what I'll.
There you go. That's a good way to put it.
That's
Good
how
way
I'll
to
say
put
that. Okay.
Yeah.
That is definitely how I'll say that. Okay.
Marcus, I told the new gentleman I was giving a little drone lesson to watch your videos on the Mini 4K.
Oh, excellent.
He went out and bought it, and he's going to get used to flying it. But I told him, make sure you watch Marcus.
Yeah.
I had a whole quadcopter.
Not to toot my own horn, but the beginner video that I did with that, somebody that never picked up a drone before, it takes them through every single step.
You did a great job with that video.
Yes.
You really did.
Doing everything and getting the thing in the air, So anyway,
that was, and that's exactly what I thought when I watched that video. Like, if I was totally green to buying a drone and this is the first thing I watched, I would know exactly what to do. So kudos to you, Marcus.
Thank you.
Work on that. You did a great job.
Marcus, I do have a question. Why do you use meters rather than feet?
Because couple of, I think, good reasons. The easy one for me is that, quite frankly, the metric system makes more sense to me. I wish we would convert like the rest of the world, but that's not the real reason. Most of the reason that I use it is all of the manuals for these drones. Everything is quoted in metric, and so I think when you're talking the same language as what the manufacturers are, I think it helps.
Yeah, that's a good reason. Yeah.
Look at what our friend put up here, Barkley.
Hey. Well, the first word I thought of there started with an F, but I'm not going to say it.
Oh,
Barkley.
Yeah.
I tell you.
It's good to have some good humor. Okay, we need some humor. Okay, so that was some good humor. So. Well, one of the things that I talked about last night, I hadn't seen the FCC label, and I did on the Osmo Action 5 drone DJ, had that article out on that today. So that's some good news. I expect this to hit any time now for something like this. But I know we're aren't we on about the 1 year anniversary, Marcus, of this?
It's got to be pretty close. Yeah. It's got to be pretty close.
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking too.
These things are like drones. They keep getting better and better, but what are they going to put in an Action 5 Pro that is going to be better than the Action 4? That Action 4 is stunning.
It is.
Yeah.
It is. Even with my problems with the mic too, when I do get it paired up, I mean, it's just like, I took it out the other day, Ray. I think I have a Tundra Nation Basics channel for my Toyota Tundra. And we went through a bill itself is the world's largest car wash. And in fact, listen to this. It's a dual car wash. There's 2 lanes. Okay. All right.
Okay.
And it's fantastic. Okay. It's called Bubble Down. And they have them all over here where we live here in Central Florida. But anyway, I recorded that and I had the mic up here, and you could hear me clearly going through, and you know how loud it is going through a car wash. Okay.
Yeah.
You could hear me clearly on there. I replayed it back, and I'm like, wow, that was impressive. And then just walking around the vehicle, okay, the whole time, just you can hear me crystal clear. I mean, there's just like I'm talking right into a mic. It was wow.
Yeah. If there's no wind, just the regular microphones on that Action camera are insanely good.
Oh yeah, I agree 100%, Marcus. If there's no wind, as long as there's no wind. And see, I forgot I normally put the windsock or whatever they call that on there, the fuzzy thing. But I didn't that day. But it was fine. It was great. So yeah.
Well, they call that a dead cat, but we can't say that.
No, that's right.
Right. Yeah. Dead cat. Yeah, that's the term.
We'll have the ASPCA come after us.
Hey, did you see Eddie's comment? I don't want to let it get away before we. He's talking about the new GoPro was leaked. So
No,
that goes right along with the Action 5. So
okay.
there's been a lot of interesting videos out recently about GoPro, and Ron Brown actually posted one of them, and about how the decline in GoPro's value, and about how they've,
I tell you, you don't even want to know what I bought that stock at.
yeah, the stock is gone insanely down, and even to the point where they're saying that they could potentially go bankrupt. I struggle with that, but you never know. You never know.
I'm ready to throw this right in the garbage.
It's weird how they went from being the preeminent action camera maker to where now, I don't know. I think most people are either getting a DJI Action, or they're getting those new Insta360 cameras. I don't know.
Yeah, well, they kind of shot themselves in the foot, especially with the issues they started having, like the overheating issue was ridiculous. I mean, you should be able to solve something like that, easily. And kudos to DJI, because remember when they had issues with the Action 2, they got it resolved right away. I mean, they didn't waste any. They got it taken care of, and it seems like, and you would think, like, year after year, that GoPro has had this down pat, and that they would have processes and procedures in place to take care of these things, but they don't. And I think what they did was, I think part of their problem is, they're in the, I call it the Apple cycle, okay? Because every September, boom, what are you going to get? Apple phones coming out. Well, the boom, everybody expects a new GoPro to come out, okay? And I think what they're trying to do, they were trying to force that, because you only have so much to work with, okay? You can only pack so much technology inside that camera, and I think they were trying to do too much some of the times. And I think a lot of their processors, I don't think their cameras were built well for heat dissipation, and I think that's part of their problem. So
I use mine primarily for B-roll. I do short videos,
short videos,
2 minutes, and I've never had the overheating problem because it hasn't ran that long.
It works perfect for that. It's a great application for it, Captain.
That was smart, Ray.
And their video quality, their video quality is second to none. It's really good.
It is.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh, it is. It really is. Well,
but one of these days I'll make the switch and buy the Action.
Well, for me, when I went up to Ohio to do for my ham radio channel, I was out there for almost 3 hours recording on the Action 4. No problem at all. None whatsoever.
Really?
No overheating at all. And I still had plenty of battery by the time I was done. I mean, I had probably about 25% battery, and I was shooting for like 3.5, 4 hours constantly. And it was at 4K 30. So it wasn't like it was 1080p. I mean, it was, and I was incredibly impressed with how well it did. I mean, it's so good. Okay. Because normally when I would do something like that, I would hook up my phone and use my phone to record some stuff. But the Action 4 was so good after initial trials. I said, you know what? My phone's staying on my pocket. I'm using this, and it was great. It worked absolutely.
Well, Bill, it's 105 degrees outside right now. Maybe I should take this thing outside and fire it up and see how she does.
Well, it's not funny that you mentioned that, Marcus, but it's like it's everywhere. This heat index, everybody's hitting it. It's going to go to Ohio. Well, my kids were telling me. I mean, it's in Pennsylvania. They're getting it too. I mean, it's like,
I'm going to be out on the hot tarmac at the drag strip on Friday, and it's supposed to be 107.
You better take some buckets of ice water with you.
Yeah.
I mean,
It's going to be brutal there, Marcus. But I want to wish you good luck. I see a victory in your future.
I like that. Thank you.
Hopefully. Okay. All right. Well, the Action 5, knocking on the doorstep. I just wanted to kind of finish that thought up there. Okay. All right. Let's see what else we got here. Okay.
I'll say this, Bill. This is the best action camera I've ever owned, bar none.
Oh, I agree, Marcus. I agree. Okay. It runs circles around my Action 1, and I really like the Action 1.
And I really liked this one. And that Action 4 is even a step better.
Oh, yeah.
What do you think the price point's going to be on the new one?
On the new one?
I bet you all of $400, I bet.
That's what I was going to say, $399.
Okay.
And that's just for probably a basic package without like the, not the bike package or the.
Well, you see, they put that pro name on there, so
Yeah.
What is it? that can be a good sign. It can be a bad sign. So yeah, price wise.
Well, I came up with this article and I wanted to bring this up and talk about this. I typically have not flown my drone on the port to record fireworks on the 4th of July, but apparently a lot of people do, and it's okay. But per this article that was out on Drone DJ, apparently a lot of people violate FAA rules, and it boggles my mind. Okay, because it's a certain day, do we forget these rules? Do they not apply? I mean, seriously. I mean, it's like
I've seen people seem to be getting more and more reckless in my book. Anyway, they're just taking chances, and I think they're wrong, and they are wrong, no doubt about it.
So let me throw this at you. How does that Supreme Court decision, that Chevron decision, affect the FAA enforcing some of these rules?
That's a good question. That's a very good question here. Okay. There's don't fly above 400 feet. Don't fly in restricted airspaces. Don't fly your drone out of your line of sight. Don't fly over people. I mean, seriously. I mean, I'm preaching to the choir. I know all you guys out there, okay, and I know these two gentlemen fairly well too. I mean, it's like it's ridiculous. All of a sudden, you forget, your rules. Okay, it's like, okay, here's what I'll say. All right, it's like what I call distracted flying. Okay, and that's one of the reasons whenever I fly, I like to have Valerie. If I'm around a lot of people, I have Valerie stand right with me. Okay, and I'll have her tell people, Bill's flying right now. Okay, because years ago when we lived in our other house, we had the family over. It was Father's Day, Mother's Day, or whatever. Okay, and I said, "Can we see you fly your drone?" I said, "Sure." And then they're asking me 10,000 questions while I'm flying. Okay, and that's not a good thing. So, and I got distracted, and I almost lost my Phantom 4 in the lake that day because I wasn't paying attention to what I was doing. So, conversely, whenever I do fly at a family function now, or if other people are around, I have Val with me, and I tell her, I said, "Look," I said, "make sure you tell everybody, make sure you tell them Bill's flying. My husband's flying right now. He'll answer your questions in a minute. Let him go, kind of a thing."
That's a good thing to do, Bill. Really, it is.
Yeah. These are just common sense, guys. This isn't rocket science here, and how people forget this all of a sudden. It's like all of a sudden they have Marilyn Monroe standing next to them, and they're like, "Oh, I mean, seriously here. I don't get it. I just don't get it. How people forget stuff like this. I mean,
I enjoy getting the questions though. When somebody sees me flying, I say the same thing. I'll answer a couple quickly, and then I say I'll show it to you when I bring it down. I'll let you actually do it if you want to do it.
After I land, I'll be happy to answer any question you have. And I talk to people. And one of the things I always do is I carry one of my cards with me. Okay. Because I don't necessarily have my stickers all the time, but I carry a lot of my cards with me whenever I go flying. So in case somebody's talking to me, I hand it out to them. And what? I was wearing my shirt. We went out to First Watch breakfast restaurant. I don't know if you guys have them or not, but we went out there. The guy saw my shirt and he says, "Oh, I'm into drones too." I handed him my card, and I'm like, "You have any questions? Let me know." I said, "I got a show on Tuesday nights at 8 o'clock. Love for you to watch." Boom. He subscribed. That kind of thing. I mean, that's always a good thing. But
can I answer Barkley?
Hey, Mario, how you doing?
He said, "Who flies beyond visual line of sight?" I just want to say, Barkley, I never exceed the speed limit either. I am a stickler. If it says 55 miles an hour, that speedo is right on 55. It's never 56. Just telling you.
And Johnny should stay under 121.9 meters always. That's a good question. That's a good question. So, okay. All right. Enough of that. All right. everybody's least favorite subject, but we're gonna talk about it anyway. You know, we did touch on this last night, and I did want to go over this here for a little bit. U.S. adds drone maker Autel Robotics to trade blacklist. Okay. Now, the entity list is a U.S. government compilation of foreign individuals, companies, and organizations deemed a national security concern, subjecting them to export restrictions and licensing requirements for certain technologies and goods. With its addition to the list, Autel Robotics is now forbidden from accessing or transferring certain technologies from the U.S. unless specifically approved. All right, this is what this means. Okay, lawmakers select the statement below. Following news of Autel, following our advocacy, the Commerce Department added maligned Chinese-controlled drone maker Autel to its government blacklist. No American should support companies like DJI and Autel that are arming communist China and having the ability to spy on American soil. While this is a strong first step, the Senate must now take up and pass the House-passed Countering CCP Drones Act and ban the introduction of new CCP-linked drones from American skies. Okay, it's, you know, we've talked about it ad nauseum, but, you know, it's like, it's fear-mongering. It's, you know.
What's next?
Yeah.
Well, Autel's kind of a moot point, at least for us, for consumer drones, because they're already out of the consumer drone business.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, Marcus, that's 100%. You're right.
Yeah.
You know, but one of the things that I want to touch on, and I don't see a lot of people, and I saw, and if you guys watched, and I mentioned it last night, Rick Smith had a great, first time he talked about it for Drone Valley. Go out there and watch it. It was a great video. He did it, I think, on about a week or so ago. But one of the things that not a lot of people talk about is agricultural drones. All right.
They're big too.
There are no, you know, last I checked, and if somebody in the audience can correct me on this, I don't think anyone else makes agricultural drones other than DJI. Okay. And most of the farmers, I would say all the farmers who fly drones, they fly DJI drones. Okay. And how it precisely sprays their crops, and it precisely can gauge, you know, the water that's needed out there to maintain healthy crops. And it provides so much data to them to help get food. Okay. And, you know, these simpletons in Washington, all right, they don't get it. Okay. They don't get this here. So
it sounds like a conspiracy to me.
Yeah. It's just, you know, Adam Bry. I mean, you know, what's funny is every time I go to Dobo's Twitter feed, okay, there's some 4-letter word associated with Adam Bry, okay, from the CEO of Skydio. He has no love lost for him.
Speaking of Skydio, Rob Kamada showed up in a little mini meetup we had with a Skydio the other morning.
Wow.
Yeah, I tell you. Yeah, but unfortunately, he didn't have the correct connector, you know, and he had to like try to fly it with his phone itself.
You can do that.
And yeah, he was controlling it a little bit, but he didn't want to take a chance and send it out over water with the phone. Yeah, but I did see the Skydio flying on Saturday morning.
Yeah, he sent me a message, and so I put him onto the Skydio flight school, you know, that just steps you through everything. So.
Yeah,
he'll have a lot of fun with that drone.
Thank you, Michael, for telling us.
You still have yours, Marcus?
Yeah, I do, and I'm hanging on to it. I had it out. I don't know, just probably over a month ago. I did some tracking. I had a little electric scooter, and I was running around tracking it. And that Skydio, it's just almost infallible. The other thing that people don't realize is it's an even better drone. It's a 4 or 5 year old drone, Bill, something like that.
Right, it's old now.
Yeah, but they have still improved the firmware on it, and the tracking and obstacle avoidance has improved over time, and it's even better than ever. Yeah.
3 years ago, when Ron was down, he had the Skydio with him for the South Florida drone meetup, and we had flown in Jupiter, you know, at a secret location, of course, and he demonstrated that obstacle avoidance, and I was pretty impressed with it at the time.
Yeah.
Well, Michael,
go ahead.
That there's an agricultural Hileo in Texas does ag drones, so I wanted to make everybody aware of that. Thank you.
Those
Mike.
are big bad boys. Those ag drones. They're over 55 pounds, so that takes them to the
yeah,
level of
they're monsters.
They got quite the payload, right?
yeah.
Well, oh, and by the way, Tony, it's good to see you. Tony, he was at the South Florida Drone Meetup.
Yep.
That's who's on there.
How you doing?
You know what? Valerie was like, we loved talking with you. It's like we're looking forward to seeing you again next year at the meetup. It was great getting a chance to talk with you at length. It was really good. So, but okay. And Michael, by the way, we hope things are going better for you where you're at right now. Thank you for being on tonight. That's a good thing. Obviously, you probably have some
got some kind of power. That's a good sign,
which is good here. So, I mean, let's hope what we saw from Ken, we can have some cautious optimism about. I mean, we've kind of run this through the ringer here, and I'm not going to spend any more time on it because I want to go and talk about the Specta Mini. Okay, now yesterday morning, it was very early yesterday morning, about 5 a.m. I got an email from my contact with Cojito that said that the Specta Mini is officially up on Amazon site, and you can go ahead and release your video. So let's go ahead and do.
I wonder how many they sold. That's going to be the big question.
Hey, Bill, one of the big things, I watched Half Chrome's video today. He put out another video today. And one of the things that he said that really that would just put me out of the equation is that their app is not available for iOS yet.
Yeah.
So, I mean, I hope they advertise that. If you've got an iPhone, which a lot of people do, they should be buying them because what will happen is they'll just get returned to Amazon.
Yeah. Yeah. See, now I didn't see that because what they did was they said for the app, they put a QR code there. Okay. In the little booklet, there's a QR code for it. So go ahead and download it.
Your video on the Mini Specta was really good, Bill. It was. I said, man, it looks just like a 4K.
It is. It is. Now their store reflects both. You can see the Mini is there, and then the Air is there, but you scroll down and you're not seeing anything else, and that's the one big thing, and that's the big thing I hear all the time, guys, and that's irregardless. And I think Jack would probably agree with me from Half Chrome Drones. We had Jack on when the Air came out, and we talked at length with him about that too, and I think he's kind of in agreement with me. It's not so much the service, okay? And one thing that I'll tell you guys is services is based in the United States, okay?
Well, that's a good thing.
That's, I don't know, but it is based in the United States. They did say they have a quick turnaround. They'll get to your drone like within 24 hours, and you'll probably get it back within a week, which sounds good. Okay. So it's all based here in the US. The big thing is accessories and specifically batteries. All right.
Batteries, right?
Now, I've been doing an email chain with Cojito, my contact from them, for over 4 months. Okay. He said, the first thing he tells me, we'll see them in April. Then he says, we'll see them in May. Then he says, we'll see them in June. Now he's telling me late July. Okay. Even yesterday, after he sent me the email that the Mini is out and then I could post my video, I asked him again. He says, late July was the answer. So, crossing fingers on this because people have tried, and now I haven't tried because I don't have I don't have that size Mini because I have the Mini 4, so the battery won't fit. But people have tried it with the Air, and it doesn't work with the Air. And I assume it's going to be the same thing with the Mini here too. Like you can't cross-use batteries because of the software. That's exactly what's doing that and preventing that from happening. But I'm going to go ahead and we're going to watch part of my video here because I want to give you guys, do watch this. I'm talking to preaching to the choir here. But let me go ahead and share my screen.
What's the price point on that, Bill?
It's $289, Ray.
Right. Okay. Yeah.
And it's a good price point. So let's get this up here and. And recording's underway here. So let's go ahead and we'll change the units here if I can get that down here. I think it's under control units. I'm going to go to Imperial. There we go. Okay, we're at 72. Let's get it up to about 100 here.
And Bill, where are they made?
They're made in Malaysia. Okay.
Right.
But
The same
real
factory your Mini 4 came out of.
the real curious
I
thing
know.
is on the back of the controller, it says made in China. Well too. Let's go ahead and take it forward here a little bit. Now you can't hear it. Remember, the Mini 2 series was now one of the things that I talked about this last night when we were on Drone Nation is the only discernible difference I really see between this and the DJI is it's not as bright. Okay, I think the DJI Mini is 4K is brighter for some reason. Okay, and I didn't touch any of the settings. This was as is here. So, but all in all, I mean, and then I ran into a yeah, I ran into a little dealio here. Okay, at the end of this flight where I fat fingered it and I canceled return to home. And you guys can watch the video to find out what happens. But it was all operator error on that. Okay, there wasn't anything.
What about the sticks, Bill? The controller, how did it feel as compared to a DJI drone?
It was perfect. It was just like a DJI. There was didn't skip a beat with that. Same type of cable connects your phone with that. I had no problem using my Samsung Galaxy phone on there. Worked like a champ. Fit in there. Zero issues with that. But on a video I'm going to put out probably Thursday. I'm going to put this one out. My phone overheated. Okay. Yep. And it shut the app down. All right. And what I did was I went to my truck to try to cool it down, and it wasn't cooling down in my truck. Okay.
What Samsung do you have, Bill?
I have a Galaxy S22. Okay.
Okay. Yeah.
And it was just that's my secondary phone. My primary phone is a Z Fold right here. Okay.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Well, it didn't cool down. So what I did was I hit the button on the controller and it came back fine. But what was nice was I knew where it was. I went inside the truck. I sat there for a few minutes. Wasn't going to fly. So, and then Marcus's gel. I know what you're going to say. Go for it.
I got a solution for you. And I've been using it on my iPhone on hot days, and it works like magic. So what this is it's actually a medical gel pack. And you peel the backing off and you stick it to the back of your phone, and it acts as a heat sink. They use them for like people that have high fevers and things like that. When I bought this, it was marketed for your phone, but they're no longer available. I got to look it around, and it's identical. Somebody just repackaged it. It's the same thing as a medical gel pack. So you can buy them on Amazon pretty cheap, like $10 for 15 of them or something like that. And they're reusable. You just peel the backing off, stick it on the back of your phone, and it keeps it cool. So I just carry a little Ziploc bag with me, put the backing back on, put it in the Ziploc bag when I'm done, and you can use them over and over.
Yeah, look at Lauren. That's a good tip.
Yeah. Look what Lauren says here.
Yeah, that shipping is crazy.
They want $110 shipping and import fees. Wow. Oh my. Okay.
But, so here's Bill. Can I have just a second?
Go for it.
That's the thing that's just.
So Canada's doing it too. Putting import tariff on it.
Well, Canada has a value-added tax on everything.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. But at $289, so it's $10 cheaper than a DJI Mini 4K.
Right.
So the Mini 4K, you're not going to have issues with an app. You're not going to have an issue buying batteries, etc. Man, they're just not ready for prime time. And I think if you're going to buy, DJI is a known brand, and I'm not trying to criticize Specta. I wish them the best. However, if I'm just an average guy, I looking at that, man, I'm going to buy DJI because it's a brand that's been around. It's a known quantity, etc. Aren't they going to have to price it more aggressively, Bill?
Yeah, they're gonna. It's exactly what I said, and that's a good point. We were kind of talking about that a little bit last night because when you go out to the site, and let me see if I can bring. I'm going to bring that up here on it itself. You know, it advertises it as a sale price. It's out there, but I want to show this to everybody.
Okay.
Let me go ahead and get this up here. All right, it says right here. Okay, list price $349. It lists 17%.
Oh, really?
289. Okay. So I think Marcus it really hit the nail on the head here.
Yeah.
I think they should price this about 249. All right.
Yep.
It was 249. You know, I think you're gonna get some people. It's gonna raise their eyebrows and it's gonna get them to think twice.
It's not going to compete. It will not compete at that price point against the Mini 4K.
$10 more. Marcus made a great point, Ray. Why not? You know, I'll just get the 4K. You know,
Right.
Why? Why not?
So I face that with a lot of these other drones that I test, like the Potensic Atom Mini and that new Holy Stone HS900. Gosh, they're priced in those instances more than the Mini 4K, and they really don't have the camera quality, the flight quality that you get with the DJI drone. I just struggle to tell people, you know, yeah, buy this drone because it's just not. Again, if it was priced at $200 instead of $350, you know, like the Atom or that HS900 Holy Stone, yeah, maybe you could justify it, but it's not. Buy that Mini 4K.
Well,
Right.
you know, we're talking about $200 and everything. You know, I think for $249 that would probably pique some interest. Plus, if they're offering batteries as well, and see, I think that number one, I think the problem that they had right here, why it got delayed so long before they came out with this, I think they wanted to make sure that they had enough units in stock to be able to supply to Amazon to sell in the United States. Number one, and I think that's where they're at. And number two, in some of the emails that I've exchanged with them, okay, they told me that batteries are available, but I have to send them a wire transfer, and I'm like, guys, no, that's not going to happen. And what they told me was, listen to this, okay? This is the first time I'm sharing this with everybody here. They told me, well, it doesn't come in packaging. We just kind of wrap it up and put it in you know, that brown paper that, you know, the cushion Amazon packages, okay? We just wrap it up in that, and I'm like, not even in a box. And I'm like, well, it puts it in a big box, but you know how things come from China, like especially like if you order a FEMI drone, you know what that's like, Marcus. It has that incredible tape and paper over it and all that stuff. I mean, you know, and that's the same thing here. Okay, I want to get this from, and I told him, I said, you know what? I said, what I want to do is be able to order this from Amazon from your
on Amazon. Yeah.
Because, you know, and Ron has a good point too when he talks about, you know, FEMI drones. I'll get one from, you know, Ron's like saying, and I'm probably putting words in Ron's mouth, but I think I've heard him say, I'll buy a FEMI when it's on Amazon, okay? Because I know of Amazon's return policy, and their return policy is
right.
Okay. So yeah, you know, let's look at that all day long. But you guys all make a great point. I think the $200 price point, I think that's a little on the low side. Maybe $225, maybe $240. Okay, you're going to attract some people. Plus, when they get batteries, they get propellers out there, and they have them on the site, and they get information about what to do in case there's a problem. Now, I know a lot of people, and I've got the other thing that I've heard secondarily to batteries and props is care refresh. And I'll say this, okay? This is a $249 drone, or let's just say a $299 drone, okay? And how much you spend for care refresh for this, all right? You know, I have my personal articles policy with State Farm all day long. Now I'll get them. I usually will do dual protection on like my more expensive drones, like the Mini Mavic 3 Pro, Air 3. You know, I have care refresh on both of those. and I also have my farm personal article. I don't have Care Refresh on my Mini 4, okay, and obviously on the Specta Mini, I don't have that either. But I mean, I look at the price point on those drones as well too, and also that I do have some form of coverage on that. So it's not like I'm not have some form of protection with that.
Well, the other point that I will make, and I probably was a little smug when we were talking about this yesterday, is for a lot of people, it's a stretch to buy that $300 drone. So maybe, if they can buy a $29 Care Refresh package or whatever it is, that still might be a good deal for them.
No. It's what you can afford, and if you can afford it, get it. If you can't, you got to buy something less expensive. Do that too.
But Ray, you just said something that just tickles the heck out of me about this particular hobby. Is somebody can spend $300 on this drone and have nearly the same experience that we have with more expensive drones. No, it's not the same. You don't get all the bells and whistles. But you know what? You're up in the air and you're flying and you're recording some great video.
Yeah, no,
that's some good points.
Captain Joe made a good point about the Costco sale too. Yeah,
that is a stunner right there. That just blows me away. And I guess if people don't know, he's saying at Sam's at Costco, and that's a great buy. But at Costco, they've got the Mini 3,
right,
with the Mini 3 standard with one battery. Yeah, okay. Mm-hmm. He's saying that, for $299. One battery comes with an SD card and e-filters.
Right.
Not a bad deal.
There's some, there are some good deals out there, especially, you're being a member of Sam's or Costco. We're members. We have Sam's. Go ahead, Marcus.
Well, by the way, if you don't have a Costco in your area and you want that drone, you can order it on Costco's website.
Online.
And you don't have to be a member. There's some things on their website that you have to be a member to order. Others you don't. I believe you could just order that. Anybody could off of their website.
Yeah. We became a member of Sam's here. Sam's is fantastic. We have a Costco here too. That's a little further away from us, but Sam's is right by us. But yeah, those are good prices, guys. And thank you, Barkley and Joe, for posting that. That's great. And that's great information. It's all, we want to help you guys. All our shows, Ray's show, Johnny's show, Ron and Marcus, myself, all of us out there, we want to help you guys get if you're in the market for a drone, we want to present all the options to you guys. We want you to be well informed and well educated about this. Okay. Just because I fly this doesn't mean, I would go, for example, I'll be honest, Specta sent that to me, no holds barred. They didn't even say do a review, okay, which was really kind of interesting. So it just said here, and I said, I've done the review. Do you want me to post it? Well, we'd like you to wait until we have it out, which I understand. So, but
yeah, you had the breaking news on that drone, Bill.
Yeah. I had that out there, and I still have that group. There's about 60, 70 people out there, but it's kind of keeping tabs on it. And eventually I think they're going to come out with batteries. Okay. I really do think that. And I also think what they need to do is beef up their webpage and their website. Okay. To get more information out there, because I feel like I'm one of the only conduits out there in providing information from them because of them communicating with me like that. Because I know Jack has felt the same way. I've talked to Jack from Half Chrome Drones. He said the same thing. He said, it's like communication with them is painful. It really is. Okay. It's like pulling teeth. So that's kind of where things are. But, it's another player in the field. All right. It's something, it's an option for people, for example,
and competition is good. I believe competition
exactly,
is good.
Ray, and you know what, we'll drive it back a little bit to what's going on with the drone ban and everything here. Okay. And my gut feeling, and this is something, it's just, I can't explain it, but I think this is what's going to happen. This is just from me, from everything I've seen. There's going to be compromise on this. I think commercial drones will be okay, or consumer drones will be okay. But I think what's going to happen is they're going to be regulated, and they're going to be regulated very heavily, which is fine. I think we'd all agree, we'd rather have them and have regulation than to not have them, kind of a thing. All right. I think your agricultural drones will still be okay. I think it's going to be, and your first responder drones are going to be okay. I think it's going to be your commercial drones for like your businesses are going to be faced with some kind of a tariff. I think that's where we're going to be with that. So I think there's going to be a lot. There's almost always compromise in bills like this. But go ahead, Ray. You were going to say something.
No, I was just going to say I received a message from Lauren. Breaking news on the Drone Nation site here about the bill not being included in the Countering CCP Drones Act, and that's good. It's right on Drone Nation, guys. Yeah. Thank you, Lauren.
Ron posted it. Yeah.
Thank you, Ron. Thank you for posting that information. I mean, it's there's some light at the end of the tunnel here. So all is not lost. And the other thing I got to say is this, okay? DJI is not going to take this lying down, okay? No. They're a multi-million, probably billion-dollar corporation, okay? They're not just going to let roll over, play dead, and let the U.S. government walk all over them, okay? There's going to be some compromise here, and I think that's what's going to happen, because almost always in instances like this, that's what they're looking for. They're looking for some form of compromise with this. So, but I think DJI probably could have bettered themselves a long time ago by being more forthright with a lot of things. Okay. I think they kind of hurt themselves with some of the practices and procedures that they did, them now limiting the data, and that's one of the things I'm going to check this weekend. I did not have time today, so I was so busy with work, but on the Switch to see if it's for the Specta Mini. I don't know that. I'm going to take a look at that this weekend to see that. But I think what we're going to see is, they're going to clamp down on some things. I think it'll be good. I think it'll be good for everybody. There'll be some compromise here. I just something I feel, and I've seen this historically, from Congress. They don't want, because I've kind of said my piece on it, guys. If you have,
you made a lot of good points, Bill, and there will be a compromise, and we'll see what the final outcome is. But I know Marcus has said it many times, and I've said it. Johnny said it. You've said it. Just get out there and fly. Enjoy flying your drones right now. Don't get all worked up about this, really, guys. I know a lot of you have a business, and it's your livelihood, and it could affect that. But just get out there and fly your drones right now while we still can.
Ray's right. Ron's right. Marcus is right. I'm going to pat myself on the back here. I'm right, too. Get out and fly. Enjoy it. Don't be like Eeyore saying, woe is me, the sky is falling here, okay? I can't fly during the week because of my work schedule. That's just not going to happen because I'm up at 5 a.m. every day getting ready for work, okay?
Yeah. Let me say, as a content creator, it's so tempting to jump on that bandwagon. Everybody has been putting out a video about the drone ban and this and that, and what it means and so forth. That horse is, number one, has been beat to death. Number two, none of us really know. None of us really have the information in our hands to be able to say it. Really, all you can do is bitch, mostly. So I've thought about that on my channel. I'm just going to continue to put out videos about the fun of flying drones and having fun.
Yeah.
Right? And
good point.
Whatever happens, and we'll go from there.
Well, that's why I kind of wanted to spend some time on the Specta Mini tonight, because I think for me, that's bigger news than the drone ban right now, because, again, it's expanding our horizons. It's giving all of you guys out there more information. And you know what, when you have, that Valerie's always big on, getting information out, because the more informed you are, the better you can make decisions. And that's the same thing in this instance too. For some, the Specta Mini may be a right drone for you guys. Okay. For others, it's the Mini 4K. For others, these deals at Costco and Sam's. Okay. It's all up to you. It's what's going to work best for you guys. Okay. And some of these deals, I wish I had the money to go out to Costco and to Sam's to buy those right now. Because those are super, super good deals.
I know.
Hey, you see what Jim's droning is saying there? What band Canadians are still flying? Yeah, I've been talking to my good friend Lauren Donauer to see if he'll sponsor me to become a Canadian resident. so I can still fly my drones.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah.
Good idea, Marcus.
Yeah.
Well, Lauren might have a lot of people knocking on his front door one morning. I think you'll be surprised, Lauren. But no, it's continue the theme. What Marcus is saying, what Ray is saying, what Ron's saying, what I'm saying, what almost everybody's saying. Get out there, have fun, enjoy it. I mean, life is too short. That's one of the things that I learned. And after having seen both my parents, meet their maker, and Valerie's dad as well too. They enjoyed life. I know Valerie's dad. He was so much fun to be around. He enjoyed life. He didn't let crap get him down. Okay, all the time. I'd go up there and ask him, "How you feeling?" He says, "With my hands." Okay,
Yep.
That's the kind of guy he was. He was so, I don't want to say footloose and fancy free, but you know what? He operated. Life to him was family. Okay, it wasn't what was going on here, what was going on there, what they, it was having fun. It was being around family, and of course, having a nice cold beer in his hands as well didn't hurt at all. But and that's the kind of attitude I think we should. A lot of us are still working here and having to do due diligence with our jobs and everything. But you know what? When that whistle blows, and you know what I think of all the time? This is one of the things, I just have this in my head. The Flintstones, okay? What did Fred Flintstone do? He slid down that dinosaur at the end of the day, yabba dabba doo. He gets in his car and he pedals home, okay? And he left work behind. And you know what? That's what a lot of us should do, is kind of leave that behind.
Let me throw the worst case scenario at you. The DJI drone ban happens and whatever, or even let's take it a step further. The Drones for First Responders Act comes into play, and all Chinese drones are banned. We're going to be flying something. I guarantee you, we're going to be flying something. So, yeah,
That's right.
Well,
Yep.
You know what?
One way or the other.
One way or another, we're this hobby's not going to go anywhere, guys. Okay, it's just not going to go anywhere. So, we're over. I mean, guys, any closing thoughts here? Wrap things up.
Well, basically, you know me, Bill. I just want to tell everybody, as you wrote, open invitation to come to the 5th annual South Florida Drone Meetup next year. Mark, we promote this thing well in advance, and that's a good thing because we get the turnout. We have 101 people signed up on the list right now, and Bill, you and Valor on there, Marcus, you,
Yep.
and we got 101 on the list with Sarah the other night. So, it's great. It really is. And we're going to have another good time in Jensen Beach. So please, it's free to come. Just mark it on your calendar, make plans now. And Barkley's coming again. He's bringing Kiko, and he might even bring Jenna. So just make plans to join us. It's going to be a good time. And thank you for having me, Bill. I appreciate it.
Pleasure, Ray. Absolute pleasure having you on. Marcus.
let me tell you guys, we've got well over 100-degree weather here for a while. I'm going to test the limits of flying DJI drones in hot weather. I want to fly. Okay. Now, the top range they say is 104 degrees Fahrenheit for most of our drones. So bear that in mind. But I really think if you use a little common sense, I think you can get away with flying in a little bit hotter weather even. So be careful with your minis that don't have a fan in them. But other than that, we got a lot of hot weather, I think, all over the country. Get out there and fly and have fun.
Well, before I have my close, Akarasho, where'd you live in Ohio? I lived in Columbus for 30 years. Post where you live in Ohio. I'm sure I was there. I was all over. I lived in Ohio for over 30 years. I know that state backwards and forwards. I know.
I'm gonna tell everybody he lives in Michigan.
Yeah, he says move South Florida closer to Ohio, and I might come. So okay, all right. Well, I want to echo what these guys said. Get out, have fun, enjoy yourselves. Obviously, if it's going to be warm like that, you may want to start out early in the morning or later in the day. Avoid the midday. That's one of the things I learned a lesson when I first moved to Florida. about cutting the grass at 1 o'clock in the afternoon. You just don't do that.
No, you
Okay.
don't.
I got that lesson after I got dehydrated, and Valerie said, "See, I told you not to do that." You know, I'm like, yeah, okay. So, but anyway, get out there, enjoy yourselves, have fun, and also too, I'm going to put a plug in. You need to go if you can get there, get to the meetup. Okay. Valerie wants to. I mean, Valerie told me before I even got the words out of my mouth, we're going next year, right? I mean, it was like that automatically.
It's good
because she had such a good time. Okay, she had such a good time there. I mean, she enjoyed seeing everybody. And Art, we hope you can come next year too, because we missed seeing you there this year. Because
yes, we did.
We really did. So, but guys, thanks so much for stopping by. Enjoy the rest of your week, and as always, it's a great day to fly. Take care, everybody.
Have a good night, everybody.